Hello everyone, I Dr. Indu TK and you have been watching my session on Geography of India. Welcome back to the session of Physiographic Division of India. In this session, we can discuss about the major physiographic division of India, and the major area of India is covered by this physiographic division, that is Peninsular Plateau. It is the largest of all physiographic division of India. So, what exactly the Peninsular Plateau? So, without any further delay, let us understand more about our Peninsular Plateau. Topic covered under this content are as follows: Peninsular Plateaus, formation of Peninsular Plateau, the location and extent of Peninsular Plateau, features of Peninsular Plateau, divisions of Peninsular Plateau, Central Highlands, Deccan Plateau, Northeastern Plateau, minor plateaus of India, then the mountain and the hill ranges of Peninsular Plateau. Finally, we will be dealing with the significance of Peninsular Plateau. We all know that a peninsula is a piece of land that is almost entirely surrounded by water but is connected to the mainland on one side. So, what is then a peninsular plateau? In simple terms, we can say it is an aggregation of number of plateaus covering the entire central and southern India. Plateau is an area of raised land that is a flat on top. Plateaus are often by themselves with no surrounding plateau. National Geographic describes plateaus as flat and elevated landform that rises sharply above the surrounding area on at least one side. The Peninsular Plateau is a tableland of crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rocks from the past. It was produced by the breakup and drifting of Gondwana continent and making it the oldest landmass. Do you have any idea about the formation of Peninsular Plateau? Peninsular Plateau has formed around 150 million years ago according to scientists. Usually, it is formed at an elevation of 900 meters above sea level and formed when magma, which is located deep inside the earth, pushes towards the surface but fails to break through the crust. As a result, this magma ends up lifting large impenetrable rock above it. Finally, the Peninsular Plateau came into existence with the tectonic shift in Gondwana land. As a result of this ancient shift, a triangular shaped plateau was formed and characterized by curved hills and channels. Hence, it is a part of old landmass. Now, it is time to know about the location and extent of Peninsular Plateau. Where are these plateaus are located? Plateaus can be found in mountainous region, desert region, under the oceans. The Peninsular Plateau lies to the south of northern plains of India and it is bordered on all sides by the hill ranges. The Vindhyans, the Satpura, Mahadev, Maikal and Sarguja ranges divide the high plateau from the Indo-Gangetic plain ranging from 300 to 900 meters. Landscaping the southern part of India, the Peninsular Plateau covers nearly half of the Indian terrain, which is around 16 lakh kilometer squares. The plateau is triangular in shape and the bottommost point of the plateau is in Kanyakumari. Moreover, the plateau features around 900 meters above sea level and to date. It stands straight and erect, accounting to only a few slight immersions to the last 100 million years. It stretches into Rajasthan and extends to Assam and flanks on the west by Sahyadris and on the east by Eastern Ghats with a slope running towards the west to east, constitute the outer extent of Peninsular Plateau. Besides the above, Peninsular Plateau covers the following 8 states under its territorial regions: Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Orissa. Now let us discuss the features of the Peninsular Plateau. Peninsular Plateau is the oldest and the largest physiographic unit of India. It is a highly stable rock composed mostly of archaeogenesis and schist. First one, the general elevation and flow of rivers. The average elevation is 600 to 900 meters. The most peninsular rivers run from west to east, demonstrating the peninsula's overall slope. The general elevation of the plateau is from west to east, which is also proved by the pattern of the flow of rivers. The Narmada, Tapti is the exceptions, flowing in a fissure from east to west. Barring Narmada and Tapti, all the major rivers lying to the south of the Vindhyas flow eastwards to fall into the Bay of Bengal. The westward flow of Narmada and Tapti is assigned to the fact that they have been flowing through faults or rifts which were probably caused when the Himalayas began to emerge from the Tethys Sea of the olden times. The important physiographic features of these regions are as follows. This peninsular plateau has undergone recurrent phases of upliftment and submergence accompanied by crustal faulting and fractures. These spatial variations have brought in elements of diversity in the relief of peninsular plateau. In this picture, we can find a kind of rock structure, that is toss. How is this toss has been formed? It is a prominent isolated mass of joint weathered rock created by the erosion and weathering of rock, usually granite. Toss are typically the exposed rock mass of the joint and broken blocks. These tours are known as either Castel Coppi or Kopji by geomorphologists. Next one, you can see in the picture block mountains and rift valleys. How these features has been formed? Block mountains are formed due to faulting of earth crust. Block mountains are formed in a number of ways. Firstly, block mountain may be formed when the side blocks of two faults move downward, whereas the middle block remains stable at its place. Secondly, block mountains may be formed when the middle block between two normal faults move downward. Thus, the slide blocks became host and block mountains. Such mountains are associated with the formation of rift valleys. The mountains of Satpura and Vindhya found in the central western part of India are the examples of block mountains. Then, rift valley is formed due to folding of plates. A rift valley is a lowland region that forms where Earth's tectonic plates move apart or rift. Rift valleys are found both on land and at the bottom of the ocean, where they are created by the process of sea floor spreading. Many rift valleys such as Narmada, Tapi, Mahanadi, Godavari and Damodar have been formed due to faulting and vertical movements. The next important feature in the Peninsular Plateau region is spurs. What is this spurs? You can see the picture of spurs formation. Spurs are the marked projection of land from a mountain or a ridge. A long, gently sloping tongue of ground that runs down from a hill to a lower ground is called a spur. These spurs are formed from the erosion over time. This figure shows another kind of rock structure that can find in plateau region. Bare rocky structures, series of hummocky hills and wall-like quartzite dikes offering natural sites for water storage. A hummock refers to a small mound, hillock or a knoll that occurs above the surface of the earth. Broad and shallow valleys and the rounded hills. The Peninsular Plateau comprises several smaller plateaus, hill ranges, river basins and valleys. The plateau contains rounded hills and the vast shallow valleys. Next important feature that you can find in this picture is ravine and gorges. What exactly it is? Ravine is a deep, narrow gorge which steep slides, a small, narrow, steep-sided valley that is larger than a gully and smaller than a canyon, and that is usually won by running river. A gorge is a narrow valley between the hills or mountains, typically with steep rocky walls and a stream running through it. The northwestern part of the plateau has a complex relief of ravines and gorges. The ravines of Chambal, Bind and Morena are some of the well-known examples. The next important feature you can find here is the Deccan Traps. One of the most important features of the Peninsular Plateau is the black soil area in the western and the northwestern part of the plateau, which is known as the Deccan Trap. From the end of the Cretaceous until the beginning of the Eocene, numerous fissure-type eruptions took place in the northwestern part of the Deccan Plateau. It is believed that the lava outpourings were more than the mass comprising the present-day Himalayas. It covers a major portion of the Maharashtra Plateau and parts of Gujarat, northern Karnataka and Malwa Plateau. Some parts of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand have some outliers of Deccan Trap. Basalt is the main rock of the region. The region has black cotton soil as a result of weathering of this lava material, and this soil is one of the finest example of the parent material controlled soil. Hope you all got a detailed picture about the Peninsular Plateau. Now, let's move to the session of division of Peninsular Plateau. On the basis of the prominent relief features, the Peninsular Plateau can be divided into three broad groups: the Central Highlands, Deccan Plateau and finally the Northeastern Plateau. The massive fragmentation and tilting have altered peninsular shapes and drainage. The fault through which the river Narmada separates the plateau into two unbalanced halves. The smaller is known as the Central Highlands, constituting East Rajasthan upland, the Aravalli ranges, the Bundelkhand upland and Madhya Pradesh plateau, covering nearly 1/6 of India's total area. The larger of which is called Deccan Plateau, constituting the Satpura, Eastern and the Western Ghats, covering several plateaus spread over about 70,000 square kilometers. The Northeastern Plateau is an extension of the main Peninsular Plateau. It is believed that due to the force exerted by the northeastward movement of the Indian plate at the time of Himalayan origin, a huge fault was created between the Rajmahal Hills and the Meghalaya Plateau. Later, this depression got filled up by the depositional activity of the numerous rivers. Let's take up these divisions one by one. First one is Central Highlands. The part of the Peninsular Plateau lying to the north of Narmada River, covering a major area of the Malwa Plateau, is known as Central Highlands. Madhya Bharat Patar or Madhya Bharat Plateau is the other name for Central Highland. It lies to the east of the Marwar or Mewar upland. Most of the plateau comprises the basin of Champal River, which flows in a rift valley. The Kali Sindh flowing from Rana Pratap Sagar, the Banas flowing through Mewar Plateau and Parvan and Parbati flowing from Madhya Pradesh are its main tributaries. It is a rolling plateau with rounded hills composed of sandstone. Thick forests grow here. The Central Highlands average elevation is about 700 and 1000 meters above mean sea level. The Central Highlands are wider in the west and narrower in the east side. To the north are the ravines or the badlands of the Chambal River. Coming to the subdivision of Central Highlands, the first one is Malwa Plateau. It is mainly considered as the extension of the Deccan Plateau. The Malwa Plateau roughly forms triangle based on the Vindhyan Hills, bounded by Aravalli Ranges in the west and Madhya Bharat Patar to the north and Bundelkhand to the east. The states of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan covers the Malwa Plateau. This plateau has a dual drainage system, the Narmada, Tapi and Mahi rivers towards the Arabian Sea and Chambal and Betua towards the Bay of Bengal. Mostly covered with black soil deposit, Malwa Plateau experiences heavy lava flows. These black soil deposits have a great moisture retention capacity and contain a high intensity of sand. Dissected by different rivers, the Chambal ravines mark the Malwa Plateau. In addition to Chambal rivers like Sindh, Ken, Kali, Betua and Parbati, the plateau comprises tropical dry teak forest. The general slope is towards the north decreases from 600 meter in the south to less than 500 meter in the north. There is a lowering plateau dissected by rivers in the north. The plateau is marked by Chambal ravines. Next subdivision of Central Highland is Bundelkhand Plateau, located in Madhya Pradesh state of central India. The plateau constitutes the Vindhyan Hills and it is dissected by ravines. It has an altitude of 300 to 600 meter above sea level and the total geographical area is around 70,000 square kilometer. This plateau has a senile topography and it is marked by various gorging channels like Tons, Ken, Dasan and Betua. The Betua river located in this plateau is used to generate hydropower and excellent for furnishing irrigation facilities. The region is made up of hard crystalline igneous rock. It produces good quality of diamond, granite, gneiss and sandstone. It is the ancient dissected upland of the Bundelkhand genesis, which is made up of granite and gneiss. It is divided into 5 districts in Uttar Pradesh and 4 districts in Madhya Pradesh. It also cultivates crops such as wheat, cotton, grain, sorghum, etc. The area is marked by a chain of hillock and sandstone. The erosional work of the rivers flowing here have converted it into an undulating area and rendered it unfit for cultivation. The next one is Bundelkhand Plateau. It is an uneven plateau located in the north of the Maikal range. It has an altitude of around 150 to 1200 meters. The plateau is made up of limestone and sandstone on the west and granite in the east, covering the total area of about 14,323 square kilometer. It is bounded by Son River on the north. The central part of the plateau acts as a water divide between the Son drainage system in the north and the Mahanadi river system in the south. The general horizontally of the strata shows that this area has not undergone any major disturbance. It is a house of tribals, dense forest and many other wild animals. The famous Kanha, the Tiger Reserve National Park, is located in this region. Most of the coal deposits of Madhya Pradesh are found in this area. The next important subdivision is the Chota Nagpur Plateau. Chota Nagpur Plateau represents the northeastern projection of Indian Peninsula. Mostly it covers in Jharkhand, northern part of Chhattisgarh and Purulia district of West Bengal. It is composed of Archean granite and gneiss rocks with patches of Dharwar rock. The total area is approximately 65,000 square kilometers. This region has undergone series of upliftment, folding and denudation. The pathland of western margin are converted into laterite and bauxite due to weathering. This plateau is composed mainly of Gondwana rocks. The region is drained by rivers like Damodar, Barakar, Subarnarekha, North Koil, South Koil, and it follows a radial drainage pattern. Running in the north-south direction, the Chota Nagpur Plateau has an altitude of around 400 meters. Rivers including the North Koil and the South Koil, the Subarnarekha and Damodar cut through this plateau. The Raj Mahal Hills, which comprise the northwestern boundary of Chota Nagpur Plateau, are largely formed of basalt and are covered with basaltic lava flows. These plateaus consist of series of step-like subplateaus locally called Patlands, the high-level plateau. It is thus famous as the Patland Plateau and known as the Ruhr of India. Chota Nagpur Plateau is also a storehouse of minerals like mica, bauxite, copper, limestone, iron ore and coal, and thus it is known as the Ruhr of India. Next, we will see the southern division of Peninsular Plateau, that is the Deccan Plateau. The name Deccan is derived from the Sanskrit word Dakshina, meaning Dakshin, the south. Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt and granite rocks having a region of highlands with typically vast stretches of flat areas on top like a table known as tabletop. Deccan Plateau landscape an area of about 5 lakh square kilometer and has an altitude of 600 meters in the central region. Furthermore, the slope of the plateau runs in the west-east direction, ranging 100 meters in the north and 1000 meters in the south. In fact, the plateau is triangular in shape and different hill ranges bound the plateau from different sides. The plateau is bounded by Satpura and Vindhyas in the northwest, Mahadev and Michael in the north, Eastern Ghats in the east, Western Ghats in the west. Additionally, the plateau covers the states of Maharashtra, Telangana, Karnataka and Chhattisgarh. This region is uniquely rich in black cotton soil, also known as rugged soil and basaltic rocks. Next, this plateau has produced some of the major dynasties in India. Some of such dynasties are the Pallavas, the Shadavahanas, the Kamma Nayakas, Marathas, Deccan Sultanate, the Nizam of Hyderabad. Now, let's see the major rivers flowing through the Deccan Plateau, which is as follows: Godavari, Indiravati, Tungabhadra, Krishna, Bhima, Kaveri. The bank of these rivers are utilized to generate hydroelectric power and furnish irrigation facilities in the nearby states. Besides the above, the soil of this plateau is excellent for cultivating cereals, cotton, oilseeds, pulses, legumes, etc. It also constitutes a rich intensity of timber, firewood, bamboo, coal, asbestos, mica, iron, kyanite, etc. The next important subdivision of Deccan Plateau is Deccan Traps. The term trap used in geology is derived from the Dutch word for the stairs, referring to step-like hills forming the landscape of the region. It forms the northwestern part of Deccan Plateau, which is made up of lava flows. Black soil is abundant in Deccan Plateau region. One of the distinct features of Peninsular Plateau is the black soil area, which is very well suited for growing cotton, known as Deccan Trap. This is of volcanic origin, hence the rocks are igneous. It covers a major portion of the Maharashtra Plateau and parts of Gujarat, northern Karnataka and Malwa Plateau. Some parts of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand have some outliers of Deccan Trap. The next subdivision comes under Deccan Plateau is Western Ghats of India. Western Ghats, also known as Sahyadri Hills, and well known for their rich and unique assemblage of flora and fauna. The range is called Sahyadri in northern Maharashtra and Sahyaparvatam in Kerala. It is formed after the fragmentation of Gondwana land. These Ghats are about 150 million years old. The Western Ghat landscape an area of around 1,40,000 square kilometer. The length is approximately 1,600 kilometer and average elevation is about 1,200 kilometer. Passes in Western Ghats. Tal Ghat Pass that connects Mumbai to Nasik. Bor Ghat Pass that connects Mumbai to Pune via Kopoli. Palakkad Gap that connects Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu to Palakkad, Kerala. Amba Ghat Pass that connects Ratnagiri district of Kolhapur. Nanegat Pass connects Pune district with Junnar city. The Amboli Ghat Pass connects Shantavadi of Maharashtra to Belgaum of Karnataka. Western and Eastern Ghats meet at a point called Nilagiri, the Doda Betta. They have steep slope towards west and gentle slope towards east. The highest point is Kala Subai, while middle range highest is Kudremukh and southern part the highest point is Anemudi. The Western Ghats are the mountain range running parallel along the western coast of India, starting from Gujarat and ending in Tamil Nadu, covering the states of Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka and Kerala. UNESCO denotes Western Ghats a World Heritage Site that it is one of the 8 biodiversity hotspots on Earth. Now, we will see the major rivers passing through the Western Ghats. First one, west flowing. The rivers that originate in the Western Ghats and flow towards west are Periyar, Bharatapuzha, Netravati, Sharavati, Mandovi, etc. The west-flowing rivers of Western Ghats are fast-moving owing to the short distance travelled and steeper gradient. This makes Western Ghats more useful in terms of production of hydroelectricity. Second one, the east-flowing rivers. The rivers that originate in Western Ghats and flow towards east include the 3 major rivers Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri and many small tributaries rivers such as Tungabhadra, Bhima, Malprabha, Ghatprabha, Hemavati and Kabani. These east-flowing rivers are comparatively slower moving and eventually merge into large rivers such as Kaveri and Krishna. The above mentioned rivers generate hydropower for the adjacent state. Further to this, they are also used for furnishing the facilities of irrigation. In fact, the Indian government has installed several protected areas in this region. This comprises biosphere reserves, 13 national parks, numerous wildlife sanctuaries. Now, let's know the committees for the conservation of Western Ghats. The first one, Gadgil Committee of 2011, also known as the Western Ghats Ecology Expert Panel. It is recommended that all of the Western Ghats be declared as the ecological sensitive areas with only limited development allowed in graded zones. The next one is Kasturi Rangan Committee of 2013. It sought to balance the development and environment protection in contrast to the system proposed by the Gadgil report. The Kasturi Rangan Committee recommended that instead of the total area of Western Ghats, only 37% of the total area should be brought under ESA and a complete ban on mining, quarrying and sand mining be imposed in ESA. The next subdivision of Deccan Plateau is the Eastern Ghats. The Eastern Ghats stretch practically parallel to India's east coast, leaving wide open plains between their base and the shore. It is a series of extensively fractured and disconnected hills that extends from Odisha's Mahanadi to Tamil Nadu, Vagai. Between the Godavari and Krishna, they nearly vanish. They lack structural unity as well as physiographic continuity. As a result, these hill groupings are often recognized as separate entities. In the south, the Eastern Ghats are also referred to as Purva Ghat, Mahendra Parvatam or Kizhakku Tudarchai Malai compared to the Western Ghats. They are much older. The Eastern Ghats span an area around 75,000 square kilometer with an average elevation of about 600 meter, and its eastern portion is constrained by the eastern coastal area. The Eastern Ghats span southern Tamil Nadu, passing through sections of Karnataka from the northern Odisha through Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. With the isolated hill ranges lining the eastern edge of the Deccan Plateau and the coastal plain, they are the towers of geological antiquity. The Dandakaranya region between the Mahanadi and Godavari rivers is home to the biggest single sector, which is a relic of old mountain range that was eroded and then revived. Then let's see the rivers flowing through the Eastern Ghats. The Eastern Ghats are intertwined by major rivers like Godavari, Krishna and Pennar. A number of small rivers like Vaigai, Brahmini, Subarnarekha, Ponniyar rise in the Eastern Ghats and debit into the Bay of Bengal. Three major lakes present a Chilka, Kolleru and Pulicat lakes. The last division of the Peninsular Plateau is the Northeastern Plateau. The Meghalaya or Shillong Plateau is separated from the peninsular rock base by Garo Rajmahal Gap. Shillong is the highest point of the plateau. Meghalaya Plateau is separated into three sections: Garo Hills, Gassi Hills and the Jaintia Hills. An extension of this may be observed in Assam Karbi Anglong Hills. The Meghalaya Plateau is also rich in mineral resources like coal, iron ore, sillimanite, limestone and uranium. This area receives maximum rainfall from the southwest monsoon. As a result, the Meghalaya Plateau has a highly eroded surface, Cherrapunji, displays a bare rocky surface devoid of any permanent vegetation cover. So far, we understood about major plateaus, its major divisions, important physical features, right? Now, in the coming session, we will be talking more about the minor plateaus, the mountain and hill ranges of Peninsular Plateau. So, stay tuned, keep watching and learning with us. Till then, bye.